Hey guys, so I'm going to read to you The Spider and the Fly. This is one of my very, very favorite books, especially for this time of year, and it is based on a poem written by Mary Howitt. So, this poem was actually written in the 1800s. Um, However, it was not turned into a book until much later. But it did win a Caldecott Prize for the images in the story. Will you walk into my parlor? Said the spider to the fly. 'Tis the prettiest little parlor that you ever did spy. The way into my parlor is up a winding stair, and I have many curious things to show you when you are there. So you can see we've got our cutesy little fly down here, and then our Mr. Gentleman Spider. Here's the spider's house. Oh no, said the little fly. To ask me is in vain, for who goes up your winding stair can ne'er come down again. I'm sure you must be weary, dear, with soaring up so high. Will you rest upon my little bed? Said the spider to the fly. There are pretty curtains drawn around, the sheets are fine and thin, and if you like to rest a while, I'll snugly tuck you in. So you can see the spider is talking to the fly, and then you see these guys over here. They're a little see-through. You can see the wall through their bodies. So what do you think that they could be? Oh no, said the little fly, for I've often heard it said, they never, never wake again who sleep upon your bed. So she's looking in there, and these guys are holding up a book that the spider had, and it's called The Joy of Cooking Bugs. Said the cunning spider to the fly, dear friend, what can I do to prove the warm affection I've always felt for you? I have within my pantry good store of all that's nice. I'm sure you're very welcome. Will you please take a slice? So we set up this whole nice big table for her with all this yummy food. Oh no, said the little fly. Kind sir, that cannot be. I've heard what's in your pantry, and I do not wish to see. What do you think he has in his pantry? Sweet creature, said the spider, you're witty and you're wise. How handsome are your gauzy wings! How brilliant are your eyes! I have a fine looking glass upon my parlor shelf. If you'd step in one moment, dear, you shall behold yourself. So, a looking glass is a mirror. He's telling her to look at herself in the mirror. You can see the spider here kicking our little friend right here. I thank you, gentle sir, she said, for what you're pleased to say, and bidding you good morning now. I'll call another day. So she's leaving the spider. Probably a good idea. The spider turned him round about and went into his den, for he knew the silly fly would soon come back again. So he wove a subtle web in a little corner sly, and set his table ready to dine upon the fly. Then he came out his door again, and merrily did sing, "Come hither, hither, pretty fly, with the pearl and silver wing. Your robes are green and purple, there's a crust upon your head. Your eyes are like the diamond bright, but mine are dull as lead." You can see him singing on top of his house. Where do you think his house is located? I want you to look at what's around his house here. Where do you think his house is located, and what kind of house do you think he lives in? Alas, alas, how very soon this silly little fly, hearing his wily flattering words, came slowly flitting by. With buzzing wings she hung aloft, then near and nearer drew, thinking only of her brilliant eyes and green and purple hue, thinking only of her crested head, poor foolish little thing. At last up jumped the cunning spider and fiercely held her fast. He dragged her up his winding stair into his dismal den. Within his little parlor she never came out again. What do you think happened to her if she never came out again? You kind of look right here what's in his hands and what's on his head. And now, dear little children, who may this story read, to idle, silly, flattering words, I pray you ne'er give heed. Unto an evil counselor, close heart and ear and eye, and take a lesson from this tale of the spider and the fly. Now you can see the spider here, and the fly right here. She's kind of see-through now too. The end. So at the very back of this story, they do have a letter from the spider. They do have a little bit about the original author who wrote this story in the 1800s. And then they do have a little bit about the illustrator who illustrated this story a lot more recently. So I will have this book on display for you to look at in the front if you want to read the little letter from the spider, or you want to read a little bit more about the author or the illustrator. I hope you'll have a great rest of your day.